on. Would love confirmation. Oh, good. Thank you, Kristen. All right. And Adrian, hopefully you're able to watch. Karen, I don't know, maybe you're on. I'm going to do just a little bit of pre-instruction. I'm going to run and get something to show you just a second. So I want to talk a little bit about the Tristana of yoga. That is a three-pointed focus that when you can get to the point where you can think through those three things during your asana practice, that there's it's kind of like a magic combination, like you're cooking in the kitchen and you put some things together and it's totally different from any of the ingredients alone. And I'm looking for, where do I have this? I should know where things are in my, here it is, in my sketchbook. This is, I don't know if you can see it, the Yoga Tristana. At the bottom, it talks about pranayama, bandha, and drishti. So pranayama is the breathing. Bandha is what we'll especially look at today, which is that engagement in the core part of your body. And then the drishti is where you gaze. So these three things, as you're doing your asana practice, will bring, like I say, just the kind of a magic. So I also think about, if you look at the top of the circle, breath, core, and focus, those will be English words that would stand for the words at the bottom, pranayama, bandha, and drishti. But for a long time, I've also thought about the three words strength, flexibility, and balance. Those are three things that we're working on during our asana practice. So some days we might focus on one or the other until it becomes so natural that all three become balanced within our mind as we do our practice. So as I talk about the bandha part, which we'll talk about the space between our ribs and the iliac crest, that's a lot of times the cueing that I give for that. Then you also, oh good, Adrian, I'm glad to see you're on. Then don't let go of the other two things if you can keep bringing those back into your mind. So both Kristen and Adrian were talking about things that if you develop more of a bandha in your activities in your life, it just creates more alignment. So we neither want to be like sticking out or bending over in our practice. We're always wanting to find some straightness in that alignment. And the way that I have figured out to do that for me is to think about the lower ribs. So I'll put my thumbs on the lower ribs, and then the iliac crest is that those hip bones that stick out, and become consciously aware of bringing those points together. It's subtle. It's not like, you know, bringing it so close together that it creates another shape of the body, but it's bringing the top of the body up above the waist and bringing the bottom of the body from the waist downward. So there's this stretching, but then there's this also, I call it baby cat back, that is needed in a lot of poses. At the same time, I'm creating this. I don't want my shoulders to come forward. So isometrically, I'm also bringing the top of my shoulders back. And this is what creates alignment in every pose, in every part of your life, when you're sitting or whatever. What this does when we do it conscientiously during our yoga practice, during our asana practice, is it develops the muscles that need to be developed in order to create that alignment. So just like if you're putting braces on your teeth, it's not something that happens in a week. Over time, as you continue to do this, you will find that the alignment happens. It won't be, it takes years. So don't let it bother you. Don't overthink it. I'll just be cueing those kinds of things. I'm sorry, there was a cardinal looking at me through the window that was distracting me for a second. Let's go to our mat and begin our practice. I know Adrienne has limited time before she has to get going to work. So we'll just start right into, with all that explanation, we'll start right into our sun salutes without additional warm-up. So I will especially cue during sun salutes some of those things so that you can feel it on your body. So right now, the beginning of bandha is to feel the feet on the ground. A sense of pushing the feet into the ground, but remember every cue that I give, it's like do it 100%, then back off 50%. You only want to be having 50% muscle engagement so that there can be a flow of energy through the structure. So pushing the feet in the ground, another way people cue this is to lift the kneecaps. Internal rotation of the thighs, or think about the inseam where your pants would have an inseam coming to the center. These create energy in the structure. Now bringing your attention above your waist, bring everything up, and you think about the spine, maybe the front of the spine, and I don't know, it helps me to think about the back of the neck, and like the crown of the head is going towards the ceiling. Tendency is for the shoulders to go up when you do that. And so we consciously bring the shoulders down. So there's an upward feeling through the middle of the body, a downward feeling through the arms going away from the ears and towards the ground. This creates a kind of energetic circle. Let's bring our hands together in Anjali Mudra. Feeling all of that on our body, close the eyes, and eventually the Om or the invocation, my body begins to just line up, click, 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 after doing that for a long time. And I think you guys have been practicing long enough that that might happen for you too. So just bringing everything to the center line, noticing the breath. The inhale and the exhale of the breath should be even. Some teach that Ujjayi breath that sounds like the ocean. That's especially good if your energy is low. Our lineage, from my teacher and her teachers, teaches a free breath, so not making that sound in the throat, but still filling the lungs evenly and expelling the air evenly. If it helps to hear the sound, please make that sound. For me, it still helps a lot sometimes to do Ujjayi. Let's just do 3 Oms to begin our practice. Exhale all of the air. Inhale. Keep your eyes at the horizon as you step back into your chaturanga. High plank to low plank or just the knees down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Gaze can be up or at the nose. Officially it's the nose. Inhale, downward facing dog, and just breathe deliciously. Continue the breath and allow the body to naturally unfold in this downward facing dog. One last breath. Now inhale, look between the hands on the mat and step forward. Exhale the head down. Just use it actually at the toes or the nose. Inhale, come up, looking at the thumbs. Exhale, keep your eyes on the thumbs as they come down, and then the eyes come forward. Again, inhale, look to the thumbs. Exhale, lifting up out of the pelvis as you come into the forward fold. Inhale, look forward, keep your gaze at the horizon. Exhale, bring the chest towards the ground, keeping the gaze up, and then the gaze goes towards the nose in the upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, 5 breaths. Now as you breathe, bring the elbows energetically towards each other, which takes the shoulders out away from the ears, and the thumb and the first finger where they attach into the hand, really bring those onto the mat. This aligns your shoulders. The gaze is at the navel on this pose. So you won't quite see the navel, but the eyes go that direction. And 5, inhale, look forward, bring your feet forward. Exhale the head down. Inhale, stand. Eyes on the thumbs as they come all the way up. Eyes on the thumbs as they come down until past horizon and the eyes are forward. Inhale again, gazing at the thumbs. Exhale, keep the eyes on the thumbs as the hands come down. The eyes go to the mat, head down. Inhale, look up to the horizon and step back, keeping the eyes forward. Inhale, upward facing dog, shoulders wide, collarbones wide. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now think about all of the cues for the arms. And now we can go to that area in the core, bringing the heels down but the tail up. Sometimes that's all you can do because you're working on flexibility in the hamstring or the back of the legs. But eventually you're really trying to lift the tail higher and stretching the spine longer. And this creates a shape in kind of that hollowing feeling in the stomach, the tummy area. And 5, inhale, look towards the thumbs, bring the feet forward. Exhale the head down, eyes towards the nose. Inhale, coming up, watching the thumbs as you come up. Exhale the hands down, Samasthiti. Again, inhale and exhale. Lifting up out of the pelvis even though you're coming forward. Inhale, look up. Exhale, step back. Now think of the baby cat back at the bottom of your back as you come into your chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Now baby cat back here as we go into downward facing dog. When I'm talking about baby cat back, as you breathe, keep breathing. That baby cat back is just the sensation of bringing the low ribs and the iliac crest energetically closer together. So while you are doing that, then there's a stretching and an opening in the chest, even in this downward facing dog. Trying to release the neck. And 5, eyes towards the mat. Exhale the head down, eyes towards the nose or in front of the nose. Inhale, looking at the thumbs as they come up over your head. And then exhale, hands down. Now try that on your own, cueing yourself. Baby cat back in chaturanga. Five, inhale, look forward, come forward. Exhale the head down, eyes towards the nose or the knees. Inhale, come up. Exhale, Samastitihi. Surya Namaskar. Same concepts, just bend the knees. Feel that rib, that baby cat back is the easiest way for me to talk about it. Head down, but keeping the tailbone up. Exhale, baby cat back into your chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, wide shoulders. Exhale, downward facing dog. Immediately step forward with the right foot. Keep your eyes on the thumbs as they come up. If it's too much to keep your hands together, it's okay not to come all the way up. You know, Kristen, your upper back was kind of sore. Be conscious of that. Left foot. Now lifting the core as you step back, keeping that little baby cat back into your chaturanga, upward facing dog, and then downward facing dog. So if you can feel those cues. Elbows working towards each other, widening the shoulders. Thumb and first finger, neck relaxed. Dropping the heels, lifting the tail, and then a slight bend in the knees allows the energy to flow through your legs. In other words, don't block your knees. Last breath. Inhale, look forward, then come forward. Exhale, gaze down as your head goes down. Inhale, come up, bend the knees, watch the thumbs. Exhale, Samastitihi. Again, bend the knees, watch the thumbs. Baby cat back, then lift the tails as you go forward. Inhale, look up, keep the gaze up as you step back, baby cat back. Inhale, upward facing dog, really widen the shoulders. Exhale, downward facing dog, step forward. Inhale up. Exhale down. Now lift the Uddiyana Bandha as you step back, so that baby cat back, especially through the stepping transition. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog, second side. Lifting Uddiyana Bandha. Exhale. Lift from the core as you bring the leg back. Eyes forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Cueing yourself on your downward facing dog. And 5, inhale, look forward, then come forward. Exhale the head down. Inhale, bend the knees. And Samastitihi. Again, sorry, I'm going to tuck my shirt right here. You're probably ahead of me, that's good. Exhale. Inhale, look up, shoulders wide, keep the gaze up. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog, step forward, lift from the core, especially when you're moving the legs. So lift the core as you come back, baby cat back. Second side, lift the core. Lift, or think about lifting the tailbone as you move your leg. And your 5 breaths. By now you should be getting pretty warm. If it's too much, drop into child's pose. Last breath. Next inhale, come forward. Exhale to head down. Inhale, bend the knees. Exhale, Samastitihi. One on your own. Inhale. Gaze up. First side. Second side. Downward facing dog. And 5. Inhale, look forward. Exhale to head. Inhale, bend the knees. Exhale, Samastitihi. Padangusthasana. Hip distance apart. Lifting up out of the pelvis. Over and top the clothesline. Keeping that lift in the tailbone during this pose. Breathing. Weight towards the ball of the foot. Maybe the shoulders working their way away from the ear. Ribs close to the thighs. It's okay to bend your knees. Five, inhale to straighten the arms. Look towards the horizon. Change the hand position. Exhale the head down. Maybe lift a little bit more at the tail and then exhale one more time and begin the count. Five, inhale, look up. Exhale the hands to the hips. Inhale, bring the head up. Exhale, Samastitihi, stepping out to the right. Triangle. Push the feet into the mat, which will make it feel like your hips are a little bit higher, and then elongate the spine even further. That especially helps me to think about the back of the neck being long. And 5, inhale, Look towards your left as you pivot towards your left. My eyes go down and then they go up. Again, pushing the feet into the mat brings energy up the legs, elongating the spine from the waist to the top of your head. Last breath. Inhale, come up. As you pivot, the eyes go towards the direction that you're going. Now, crossing center, left hand down, right hand up, or laid across your back. This is a twist. The shoulder is going back. The hip is coming toward the left. So shoulder towards the right hip towards the left, or navel towards the left, elongating the spine. 5, inhale, come up. Eyes move towards the other side. Bringing the right hand down, the left hand up, or laid across your back. The gaze can go up at your hand, or the gaze can stay at your foot, depending on what you're doing with the left hand. Elongating the spine again. Twisting left with the shoulder, right with the navel. 5, inhale, come up. Exhale, Samasthiti. Stepping out again for side angle, extended side angle. The hand is the gazing point, bringing the feet, pushing into the ground, which raises the hips up a little bit, elongating the spine. Breathing. And 5, inhale. Watch your hand go to the other side, and then the gaze goes down, and then the gaze goes up, looking at the hand. Same cues, pushing into the ground, elongating the spine. Inhale, come all the way up, pivot around, and let's drop the back knee and just work on the twist. I'm going to bring my left elbow past my knee and just really trying to twist towards the right with my shoulder, but the left with my hip, meaning the navel going towards the left. You can look back towards your back, shoulder. Elongate the spine even here. And 5, inhale, look forward, standing up, pivoting, coming down to the second side. Elbow past the knee, looking towards my left shoulder, going towards, away from the center, while the hip or the navel goes towards the right. Creating that twist. Elongate the spine more. And 5. Inhale, come up. Exhale, Samasthiti. Wide leg forward fold, Prasarita Padottanasana. Inhale up out of the pelvis while you're bringing the feet against the mat, and then hands to the mat, back in line with the heels is our goal. If that's too much, they can be further ahead, but eventually you line the palms up with the heels. So feel that lifting of the tailbone again. One more breath. Inhale, just look up, straighten the arms, exhale there. Inhale, come all the way up, hands on hips. Exhale, the hands down. Inhale, tee out the arms, exhale, the hands on the ribs. Now, I like to really lift my ribs and then exhale, forward fold, so that I get that lifting out of the pelvis feeling with my hands. Keeping the hands there on the hips or the ribs. My thumbs are on the backs of my rib cage. Widening the shoulders. Neck should be loose. Gaze is towards the nose. You don't have to cross your eyes, but that's the direction. See if you can find the relaxation part in here. And 5, inhale, push into the feet as you rise up. Exhale the hands down, tee out the arms on the inhale, interlace the fingers on the exhale, bringing the shoulders back. Inhale up out of the pelvis again, and then exhale forward. You can bring your hands off the back if that feels okay. It's okay not to bring the hands up. If your shoulders hurt, just allow the forward fold. This is when I want to work with you guys in person, how to do the arms. It's tricky to say it with words. And 5, inhale, come all the way up. Exhale the hands to your side. Inhale up out of the pelvis, then come forward and take the toes. Again, you're going to want to get into the position and then try to lift the tailbone up towards the ceiling. It's kind of like flipping the top of the hip bones up over the femurs, the top of the legs. Your arms may be in a sort of 90-degree angle if you're bent over far enough. That's the normal. And 5, inhale, look up, straighten the arms. Exhale there. Inhale, come all the way up and then step forward, Samastitihi. This is the reverse Namaste. Notice the hands coming this way and then the shoulders coming back. I'm not going to bend over this time. I'm just going to work on this. So if you have never worked on reverse Namaste, today is the day to give it a try. Just give it a shot. Your hands may be higher, they may be lower. This is so good for the forearms, and it helps with carpal tunnel syndrome. It stretches the right muscles for that. So breathing, widening the shoulders, relaxing the neck, just keeping it from going too tight, and then trying to bring the shoulder blades towards each other in the back. You should be feeling quite a bit in the forearms if you're able to get even close. It may be something like way down here and the palms don't come together. Just eventually they come closer together. Keep breathing. This was hard for me for a long time. And that would be the 10th breath. Exhale, just bring the hands down, shake them a little bit. And we're going to skip the next few standing poses and go to our seated poses. So inhale, bring the thumbs up, look at the thumbs, exhale into your vinyasa. Gaze up, upward facing dog, exhale, downward facing dog, and then just sit. You might jump, just drop your hips, whatever feels right. Feet straight forward in Dandasana. I think Adrian especially mentioned this particular pose. So the knees are towards the mat. There's energy that way, but the heels are going away from you. The heels, it shouldn't be so much that the heels come off of the ground. The heels are pushing out while the knees are down. The hips are grounding, but then the ribs are lifting. It kind of, when I put my hands down, I push the hands down and that rebounds and lifts my shoulders. This can help with the Uddiyana Bandha. Dandasana staff pose. Breathing a few more times. And 5. Now, it can be just straight forward fold. I find it helpful to lift my ribs up and over to get that up over the femur feeling. So maybe inhale, push your ribs away from your hips, and then allow that forward fold. For this one, yes, we're bringing the little cat back at the bottom of the spine, but we're also opening up the top as if in upward facing dog to get that counterbalance. If it's in your practice, you can take your toes. And 5, inhale, look up, change your hand position or keep the same one depending on where you are. Inhale, really try to lengthen the spine more, and then exhale forward a little bit more. Try this one where you inhale, lengthen the spine, exhale a little bit forward. Inhale, lengthen the spine more, exhale forward. Inhale, lengthen, shoulder blades towards the spine, exhale. One more inhale, try to lengthen. Exhale, ribs are getting closer to the thighs. Inhale, look up. Exhale, release the pose. Let's do a vinyasa. Cross the ankles. Now this is a big cat back, a round back. As you come forward, lift, and then step back. Parsvottanasana, Purvottanasana. We're going to bring our hands back quite a ways, 10 to 12 inches, so probably further than you think, and really widen the shoulders here. Again, we can go up and lift the hips up, but I think this is a good one to really work on the wide shoulders. Shoulder blades are towards the spine, so there's kind of an external rotation, but then the hands are pushing against the mat. Chin can be down, or you can look back. For me, it feels better to keep my chin down. And 5, inhale, look up. Exhale, release the pose, cross at the ankles, round back to do our vinyasa. And coming through, just sit down. Ardha Baddha Paschimottanasana. Feet are forward. I'm going to get a towel to demonstrate this. So just like Dandasana, now bring the right foot over the thigh. If this is too much, just make sure it's not on top of the knee. Just bring it as far over, and it may be quite a bit or not yet. If it's quite a bit, you can take a towel, wrap it around your foot, and then take your right hand, bring it around and grab the towel. This creates a bind. Inhaling tall, exhaling, focus on your big toe. Trying to keep that chest lifted as in a small upward facing dog as you do the forward fold. Lifting the spine tall. Down 5, inhale, look up. Exhale, release the pose. I'm just going to do a little lift instead of a vinyasa. And the second side. So bring the left leg or foot on top of the right thigh. And again, wrapping the towel. This might be a kitchen towel, might work. Something a little thinner. Lifting up, ribs up high before coming forward. Wide collarbones. The toe can be the focus, big toe. On the inhale, try to lengthen the spine. and 5. Inhale, look to the horizon. Exhale, release the pose. I'm putting the towel to the side, bringing my ankles close together, round back, lifting up, stepping back. Chaturanga, elbows in. Trianjakapada. This brings the right foot back so that the knee is forward, but the heel is by your bottom. It might be just sitting tall in this position is all you're going to do. We're trying to coax the body into lengthening the front of the thigh. If this is easy for you, you might bring your hands out to the side like pontoons and do a little bit of a forward fold, but not collapsing, keeping that straight spine. Eventually the hands are on the foot. The toe can be the gazing point here. On your inhale, lengthen the spine. Last breath. Inhale, look up. Exhale, release the pose. I'm going to do a lift between sides instead of a vinyasa and doing the second side. So, bending the leg in half. May feel like you're bending in half. Now, if this is just too much, you should be up on a block. This one just takes a long time. I don't know what else to say. For me, this one took a long, long time. I will say, and 5, inhale, look up, exhale, release the pose. I will say on this second side, my sits bone does not go very close to the ground. It doesn't ground down. On one side, it's not the same as the other. So again, vinyasa. Jani Shirshasana. As always, starting in our Dandasana pose, bringing the right foot to the inner thigh, sitting tall. Maybe even bringing your hands up so that the ribs are lifted. And then it's a slight twist, right? Your navel is towards the left knee. Again, the toe is the gazing point. You can take your hand and hold the foot, but then pull the shoulders back. When you get far enough, you do a bind beyond the foot. You're pushing the sole of the foot into the thigh and the thigh rolling towards the sole of your foot. And 5, inhale, look up. Exhale, release the pose, lift instead of the vinyasa. And then second side. Again, it may feel quite different from the first side. Adjust and allow and appreciate that your body is exactly where it is, doing exactly what it should be doing today. Navel towards the right knee, and that brings energetically the hips slightly going back towards the back of your mat. Inhaling, lengthening the spine more. Try to keep that going. Maybe pushing the sole of the foot in if you forgot, and bringing the thigh towards the sole of the foot. And 5, inhale, look up. Exhale, release the pose. Cross at the ankles. Really round the back. Roll and lift up. All right, let's skip Dandasana, or Jani Shirshasana B, which is the one where you sit on the heel, and let's work on the toes down, the heels up. This may be all you do is work on that foot position. If that's really something that you're working on, you can take a block and kind of put your toes down and your heels up this way, and that can strengthen it. And then maybe kind of go to the side. I don't know, you probably can't see that as I put it to the side. These are things that you can do to help with the foot as you work through getting the toes down, the heels up in that position. One more breath. Now inhale, look up. Exhale, release the pose. Lift for that in-between vinyasa. And switch and do the other side. So toes down, heel up. Straight spine as always. Last breath. Inhale, look up. Exhale, release the spine, or release the pose. Cross at the ankles, big cat back, lift up, and step back. Elbows in. And Marichiyasana A. Again, starting in Dandasana, bring the knee towards the ceiling, leaving some space between the foot and the top of the leg or the other side. Hands forward, swimming around, and looking off towards the left shoulder. That's not true. Look at your toe and come forward. It's the other one that we twist. I heel-toed my foot a little further out to make room for my forward fold. Shoulder blades working towards the spine. Length, especially in the back of the neck. Breathing. And 5, inhale, look up. Exhale, release the pose. Cross the ankles, just lift. Second side. Lengthen the spine, especially on the inhale. And 5, inhale, look forward. Exhale, release the pose. Cross of the ankle, round back, rolling, pushing up, and then stepping back. Marichiyasana B is the same as A. We're going to skip that, except that the foot goes underneath. So we're going to skip the B pose and go to the C pose, which is the twist. So you're twisting towards the bent knee. If you have enough twist, then the arm can go past the knee, and that knee could actually go towards the straight leg. Feel what is right for your body. It might be just hugging that knee and twisting. So inhaling, straight spine, exhaling, more twist. You're looking back behind you, so your shoulder is twisting away, but then the navel should be twisting the opposite. So in this case, it's twisting towards the left. So navel left, shoulder right, inhale tall, exhale twist. That's 5. Inhale, look forward, switch sides. I'm not even doing a lift here. So your foot can be close to your leg on this version of the pose. So tall length, lifting the sternum, then twisting away, looking towards the back. This symbolizes a willingness to look towards your subconscious, which is the back of your body. That gaze over behind you has that symbolism. Inhale a little taller, and then exhale, try to twist a little bit more. Now inhale, look forward. Exhale, release the pose, cross at the ankles, round the back, big round back so that you can push up, then step back, elbows in your chaturanga. All right, let's go to our closing. I'm not sure what time it is, and if Adrian needs to be finishing up, but we're going to do the back bend prep. Let me just check my clock. This is how I pace. There's a little fox out my window. Sorry, I have to stop and look. It's coming up my front step. I wish you guys, if you can see how it's going to come right in front. I can see this baby fox. Oh, great, and it pooped on my sidewalk. That's awesome. Thanks so much, little baby. And it's coming right up my front door. That's so cute. I don't know. Foxes have become kind of a favorite little thing. Sorry, guys. That was a little yoga intermission. All right. Adrian, you're probably already in your Shavasana. So ignore whatever I'm doing over here. Kristen and anyone else that's on, here we go. Bringing the block between the feet, bringing the second block between the knees, laying down. When you are with me, I'm going to go through this with you so that we can make sure that you know how to do it. But do your best just to squeeze the knees on the block to start with. Just building strength in the legs. The low back should be kind of flat on the ground. One more breath. Exhale. All right, let's do that again. Bring the tailbone towards the back of the knees. This creates a spine in the low back that's really pushing against the mat. But then if you can keep that, bring your knees towards each other, really squeezing. And then if you want to lift, try to keep that same iliac crest and the ribs coming towards each other. That's the shape we're looking for. Really squeeze and breathe. And 5, release. And let that rest just for a second. Breathe a couple of times. So notice what your spine is like just naturally. There may be a little bit of a curve, a natural curve in the mid-spine. So we're going to bring the tailbone towards the backs of the knees, and that flattens whatever little curve may have been there, keeping that flatness. Bring the knees, squeeze them together, and lift your hips. Squeeze and breathe. Release any jaw tension, any neck, shoulder tension. Squeeze and breathe. One more time. Squeeze, breathe. Last breath. Exhale, bring it down, and just a regular breath. One thing, if you feel like you want to work on this and if it feels good, you can take the block that's between your knees and either on, it could be a really high setting, it could be a medium setting or a low setting, and just place it underneath your low back, like right there below your waist, and just allow the hips to feel that stretch. If you feel nothing, then the block needs to go higher. But even on the lowest setting, I feel a stretch in my low back with something this simple. can release some energy. So you're not trying to do anything but relax on the block here. And you could hold this for a long time, like 2 or 3 minutes. And let's, on the next inhale, lift the hips, remove the block, let the hips drop back down to the ground. You may feel some adjusting happening just being flat on the ground. And then if it feels like you're ready, bring your knees over to the side, roll to your side, and back up, and you can do a vinyasa. Let's go to our closing 3 poses. I wish we had like 2 hours and we would do so much more, and it doesn't have to be exhausting to do it for a long time. You're doing it mindfully, but we probably all need to get on with our day this morning. So go to your closing just like we always do. Your shoulder blades still work towards the spine on this, and there is a lifting of the navel away from the floor. Kind of like you're trying not to smash a fruit, a tomato or a grape. You don't want it to get smashed. So you're lifting just that much. And there's 8. Inhale, come up. Exhale into your seated meditation. I'll count out the breaths at first. Exhale all of your air. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Inhale. Exhale. Make sure the spine is straight. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Inhale. Eyes should be open, spine straight, arms and wrists straight. Exhale. Inhale, slowly. Exhale, slowly. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more just like that on your own. At the end of your breath, just let your elbows relax, close your eyes, and be with yourself. This is not a pose, this is just being. If you find your mind wandering, just gently bring it back. It helps me to do an internal smile here. You can stay here as long as it feels right for you. And when you're done, go ahead and do a vinyasa and go straight to Shavasana, skipping Uputihi today and just tuning in the quietness within. I'm going to leave you in your own Shavasana today. Give my internal namaste, gratitude for you for joining me this morning. For this good thing that you're doing for yourself, which in turn does a great thing for the entire world. Internal namaste. Continue your Shavasana until you're done.